This session is going to show you how to reduce the competition, get shortlisted for your dream job, get past the interview stage while remaining confident, resilient and fearless along the way. If that sounds good, then stay to the end because this masterclass is packed full with all of my industry secrets, tools and techniques to turn your dream job goals into a reality. My name is Judy Bullymore and I help professional women seeking their dream job have the confidence, tools and techniques to stand out, impress, get shortlisted and land the jobs that they deserve so that they can paint their own path on their terms and have the freedom to live life their way. I work with amazingly talented and highly skilled women who know they're capable of succeeding in their ideal positions, but for a multitude of reasons haven't been getting shortlisted or getting past the interview stages to land the jobs that they deserve. To date, I've worked with many women from varying sectors, including marketing, education, the charity sector, local government, to name a few. And most of my clients have been working at a senior level, and before working with me, were experiencing similar difficulties with receiving the job offer for their dream job position. Let me introduce you to Chandni. Now, she had reached a stage where she felt ready to apply for her next level role. She yearned for the freedom and responsibility to lead, to create the environment and systems that she knew was needed to create the impact that she truly wished to make. But what she really needed were the techniques to prove that she was ready, capable, and the best person for this position, despite the competition. With the Claim the Dream Job That You Deserve 5-step process, Chandni was able to showcase her passion, personality and expertise through her application and interview. She prepared and delivered an outstanding presentation, and she represented her true potential with confidence and impressiveness. By implementing all the steps, Chandni was offered her dream job. She gets to make a real impact. She's working in a supportive environment where her skills are appreciated. Her foundations are all set for her to develop and expand even further out of her comfort zone. And she has the income and financial stability to live life her way on her terms. And if Chandni can do this with the Claim the Dream Job That You Deserve 5-point system, then so can you. If any of this resonates, then stay tuned. So let's dive straight in to the Claim the Dream Job That You Deserve Masterclass 5-point system with the first step, which is pitch clarity. Not being clear on your career goal will affect your pitch. If you get this wrong, you will appear inexperienced or overqualified for the job that you deserve. But get this right and you will pitch perfectly for the job. So let me break this down for you. Pitching too high means that you're applying for a certain level role, but your CV and application documents underplay your seniority, expertise and responsibilities. I see this all the time. In a nutshell, it's when your application documents are not doing you justice. On the flip side, pitching too low equates to seeming overqualified for the role. And this plays out a lot at the moment because the level of responsibility and expertise doesn't seem to match the job role in the way that it's needed. Now, every recruiter or employer wants to read a CV, application and watch an interview performance that appears like you were made just for their role, pitched perfectly with a wonderful blend of alignment to the role from the candidate. So the tone and pitch can be the difference between getting shortlisted or not. So hopefully this illustrates what I mean about pitching at the right level. Now let's talk about you. How clear are you on your dream job right now? Are you going for the same level or the next level? Or are you willing to take a side step or a step below? If you knew how to stand out and prove you can do the job, would that change your decision? How much have you immersed yourself in the vision? For example, how does it feel? How does it look to be in the role that you truly desire? How much have you allowed yourself to believe that this job that you dream of can really be your reality? Anyone who is aware of the laws of attraction will know that thoughts become things. And finally, how committed are you? Are you ready to prioritize your focus on claiming this job? And are you ready to receive the opportunities that may come your way? Step 2 is all about your dream job strategy. So before I explain the exact strategy you need to claim the dream job that you deserve, I want you to think honestly about how strong your current strategy is. So do you have a regular stream of job roles to apply for? Do you have a high interview conversion rate? Or in other words, how many of your applications result in an interview? Do you have recruiters and headhunters working on your behalf? Do you have a strategy that reduces the competition? For example, are you hearing and applying for roles before they are advertised? Or are you applying for ones that are advertised only to a small few? And are your ideal employers who you'd love to work for within your network? The reason I ask these questions is because landing a dream job requires a strategic, multi-pronged approach. One that has a high interview conversion rate and reduces your competition. If you get this wrong, the feeling of rejection and frustration of not getting chosen for jobs that you know you can do is going to set in. But get this right, and you will be in a position to pick and choose the best role for you. Right, so first things first, a dream job strategy needs to include LinkedIn. There are so many ways to utilize LinkedIn for finding, applying for jobs and for interviewing. Let me just show you how it can aid the application stage. So you can actually find available jobs advertised and not advertised, which is also known as tapping into the hidden job market. You can use it to build relationships with decision makers and influencers of the jobs that you want, so that you're at the front of their minds before the interview. You can use it to fast track yourself to interview, because it could be that an employer or a recruiter can look at your LinkedIn profile and literally want to snap you up for the role and speak to you directly, or that you could essentially skip the queue. Finally, you can use it to reinforce your expert status and your core offer, which I will clarify a little later. In relation to how it can benefit the interview process, it can enable you to scope out staff of the organisation as well as potential members of the interview panel to help with your interview preparation. You can use it so that when employers check you out, you stand out and look at the top of your potential for the roles that you're applying for. You can use it to build relationships, as I said before, with decision makers and influencers of the jobs that you want, so that you're at the forefront of their minds, ready for the interview, by hopefully building a bit of excitement and intrigue in meeting you in person. And finally, you can use it to, as I say, reinforce your expert status and core offer, so it can actually be a talking point to showcase your passion and ability in the interview. But here's the caveat. A dream job strategy only works if, this is particularly on LinkedIn as well, if your profile is super strong. That your strategy has your end goal in mind, as in your dream job. That you're interview ready, so you're actually ready to respond to those fast track calls that you could potentially get from recruiters, that you're actually ready to go and explain how amazing you are and how perfect you are for the role. And finally, it will only work if you have strong CV and application documents. Meet Natalie. I'm just going to quickly explain her situation as it was before implementing this dream job strategy. Now, she was affected by redundancy, and to be fair, Natalie was unhappy in her role anyway because she was feeling that she was being stifled. She felt like internal processes were not only working against her, but her patients too, as she is a nurse. She knew her passion for nursing would be ignited if she was able to climb a band and hold a role with more responsibility, so she could be free to create the change that she knew would be possible if she was given the opportunity to lead a larger project and a staff team. So she was applying for her next level role within healthcare. Now, she had been applying in the classic way, which was to apply on advertised positions through an internet search and applying through the NHS website or via the large recruitment sites. But she'd reached a point where she had started to actually dread writing applications. She was tweaking the same versions of older applications and, it was resulting in more misses than hits. As a result, her confidence in her abilities and faith that she would find her ideal job were hanging on a thread. And the whole thing was making her question whether she could actually compete with more experienced people applying. Her frustration and anxiety started to really affect her motivation to keep applying. So it was like a vicious cycle, especially with how long everything took. She was juggling home, her children, and she was really starting to get anxious about the financial strain of being out of work, and it was all just really taking its toll. And while certain friends and family members meant well, she did feel pressurized by them to start considering any job rather than the right job for her. Through working with Natalie to implement my dream job strategy, Natalie was able to step into the person she needed to be to achieve her dream job. She was able to have greater self-awareness, greater inner and outer confidence. She was more decisive, ambitious, and committed. She was able to blast through her limiting beliefs. She actually had pride and excitement to apply and interview. And she had the expectation to get shortlisted and get that job offer. And she did land her next level position. She did enter a higher band, and she did start a role that allowed her to not only manage her own team, but had the freedom and all the autonomy to implement the change that she knew was needed. So it was a great success, and it was actually through very simple changes and tweaks to her actual strategy and to her mindset, which I'm going to explain to you now. I'm now going to explain how this was achieved and what constitutes the dream job strategy. And the first step to this is ensuring you have a strategy that helps you step into the most confident and positive version of yourself. Remember how I mentioned the vicious cycle that can exist in the job application process? Well, when self-doubt and all the external factors creep in, this can take the form of not presenting yourself or kind of lacking in the wow factor at application and interview. So the more you can do to tap into your power and pull out your strengths, your skills, and the attributes that you can shout about, the better. Now, everyone will get into this confident frame of mind in different ways, but here's some techniques to build into a dream job strategy. So the first one is self-talk. So it's about recognizing when you're not bigging yourself up and turn any negative self-talk into positive. Journaling. So the job application process can be so emotionally draining, it can really take its toll. So journaling is a way of writing out all your feelings and getting them out. I mean, once they're out, you can rip up the piece of paper and throw it in the bin. You can burn it, but at least they're out of your body. Inspiration. So listening to things that inspire you, looking at things that inspire you, talking to people who inspire you. It's all just about surrounding yourself with positivity, whether that be a inspiring podcast or watching a film, whatever kind of is going to inspire you. Happy activities, doing things that make you feel positive. It doesn't have to be, your day filled with pure job application forms. Breaking it up so that you have some activities that actually make you smile is just as important. Nature, taking a break, getting out into the fresh air, having flowers, plants around you while you're actually applying. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but these little subtle things make all the difference if you have a positive kind of mindset. So whatever it takes to put you in a position of power. Positive people. So in Natalie's case, I know that her friends and family meant well, but actually if you're not surrounding yourself with people who are encouraging you to be the best that you can be and to be truly happy, then this is one of those times to just be a bit more assertive with the time you spend with anybody who kind of might drag you down. Your health, taking care of it, putting it first. Visual cues. So a strategy that allows you to keep your goal at the forefront of your mind, whether that be having your goals on display, having your dream job on display, having it on your screensavers. The more you see it, the more you'll believe that it's real and that you can achieve it. So once you've entered a positive and powerful mindset, you're now ready to add the action to your dream job strategy that will strengthen your chances of landing the dream job that you deserve. So here are some of the ways that you can really maximize your chances and create a successful dream job routine. So applying directly. Now, this is the most common way of applying for a job. Applying for advertised roles, but supplementing this with the following activities will really help. So when you see a job role and they say ring this number or contact us for more information, then do so. Contact the employer for more information. Or if you see a job role, do your best to speak to influencers and decision makers directly. Again, there's always a caveat to my advice, and that is always you would have to be at a stage where you know how to sell yourself and explain your experience. So you need to be kind of interview ready and able to talk about yourself. If you're not at that stage, then I wouldn't contact employers, but if you are, then this can really help. Calling recruiters. So introducing yourself, making those connections with the people that hold, the gateway to the job that you want. Following up. Obviously, there are so many applications and it's really hard for all recruiters and employers to give feedback, but you can follow up and you might not hear anything, but it could be that your persistence and your passion for the role might shine brighter than not following up at all. Using the time to build your expert's status. Now, you remember when I was talking through LinkedIn and I was saying that, you can use it to build your expert status. You can put articles together on LinkedIn. You can write posts and engaging content, get share links to send. You can use it to be part of networking groups, podcasts. You could be commenting and just really raising your profile as the expert that you are in your field. Connecting with people who are within your field, within your sector, using connections as part of your strategy, basically. And sending out speculative applications and letters, arranging chats, just very short chats with people who you can build relationships with and use it as a way to kind of show what you can do, but speculatively. That always shows, it not only shows kind of determination, but it shows that you have confidence in your abilities. Again, if you were sending speculative letters or applications, they would need to be really, really strong. And I will be explaining what constitutes a strong application shortly. So step 1 was all about pitch clarity. Step 2 was about the dream job strategy. Now step 3 is about what you need. And these are dream job tools. Application documents and your LinkedIn profiles are your passport or golden ticket to your dream job. They are essentially the proof and evidence that the employer needs that show that you are the best candidate for the job. Get this wrong and you simply just won't get shortlisted, or you won't be amongst the strongest candidates. But get this right and you will be the preferred candidate. You will get shortlisted for interview and secure your dream job. I really want you to succeed in claiming the dream job that you deserve. So I'm going to be really honest about what you need to actually do this. So first things first, you need a CV, and you need a CV that really shows you off. And the reason why I've put here an ATS and a non-ATS version is because ATS stands for Applicant Tracking Systems, and these are the screening tools that recruiters and employers are using to shortlist, to kind of whittle down all those applications into a manageable amount. And also it's their way of shortlisting based on keywords and key experience that they would have put into the system to get the people that they want. Now, these ATS tracking systems, they do not like heavily formatted CVs. They don't like text boxes, they don't like fonts that they don't recognize. So if you have a really snazzy CV, chances are it might not get through ATS tracking systems. Therefore, you might need a more plainer template. But as I've said before, having the competitive edge, especially at first appearances, having a CV template that really is outstanding, that does have a bit of colour, that is formatted really well, could be the thing that sets you apart. So if you have two versions, depending on your strategy, if you have the opportunity to send a CV directly, such as attaching it by email or sending it as a LinkedIn message, then at first appearances, the non-ATS version may stand out more. Secondly, having a supportive statement or a cover letter that really complements your CV, that really shows you off, is going to strengthen your chances. And again, having a ATS and a non-ATS version that really corresponds to your CV, so it's all on brand, it's the same kind of colour, it just shows that you've thought about it and you've made that extra effort. Having an application form template. So this is something that I use with my clients for the types of roles that require applying solely by application form. Now, application forms have their own strategy in terms of how you can demonstrate that you meet the essential person specification. But if you have a template that you can go to that clearly and easily lists all your key achievements against the person specification, it's going to make it much more easier and quicker to apply for jobs in this way. Having an optimized LinkedIn profile. So this is when your LinkedIn profile works for you. It's actually optimized in a way that recruiters are actually headhunting and finding you based on the information that you've put in your profile. Then on top of this, depending on your sector and the jobs that you're applying for, you might need some extra things, such as an elevator pitch. So being able to really sell yourself in a short space of time. You might need a portfolio that provides that extra detail about the level of your expertise and, past successes and projects. Might need a landing page or a website. Presentation know-how. Presentations are being increasingly used in the interview process. Not everybody knows how to deliver a strong presentation, and not everybody has the insider techniques to allow their presentation to not look boring and for it to stand out and be memorable. There is an art to delivering strong presentations, but having the know-how to do this could be literally the game changer. And finally, technical testing know-how. Some interviews include testing your technical knowledge. In fact, some application questions test your knowledge. So having this thought through again and having this within your toolbox is going to greatly strengthen your chances of claiming the dream job that you deserve. Simply having these tools isn't enough. They actually have to be strong enough to position and pitch you at the top of your potential, as was discussed in step 1. Now, I notice common themes emerging time and time again, and I really want you to avoid them. And these are having weak examples, not maximizing your personal brand, and lack of an overall core offer. So let me just emphasize the importance of core offer. For the purposes of landing the dream job that you deserve, your core offer needs to include 3 core elements. These are examples. These aren't just examples of work and experience that you've done. These are your killer examples, the examples that are going to literally carry you through to getting shortlisted, and the examples that you're more than likely going to bring to life at interview. These examples need to be you at your best. Examples that illustrate and prove just how amazing you are and how suited you are to the role that you're applying for. So, not weak examples, really strong, compelling, memorable, impressive examples. Expert status. So your core offer, you'll have your examples, really strong ones, and then you will come across as an expert in your field. So this is what overcomes what I was saying about those applications and those interviews that just sound really generic. They don't have the wow factor. If you step into your expert status, so this is being able to say with confidence that you don't just do this well, you do this exceptionally well. This is something that you are known for. You have a reputation for doing this. That's kind of what expert status means. So when you add that to really strong examples, you're building a really compelling core offer. Finally, your personal brand. Everybody has a personal brand, and your personal brand is your unique stamp. It's the thing that sets you apart. It's the thing that only you have, that nobody else has. When you think, to your team at work, or your last team at work, if you wasn't at work that day and you just said to anybody, pick up my work, would they have been able to do it as well as you? And if that's the case, then why? What is it that you do that they don't, or they can't? It's about owning the things that make you unique and set you apart. Now you add that to your expert status and your examples, and you've got a strong core offer. So assuming that you have a strong core offer, the missing piece to the puzzle is to strategically prove that you have exactly what the employer is looking for. And to do this, you need to read between the lines. So there are 3 things you need to consider when applying for your dream job. And they are: why is the job being advertised in the first place? They usually give clues in the job advert, and also in the job description and the person specification, as to why this job might be coming about, whether it's a new team, whether they're expanding, or whether or not they've been affected by something. It's really important to actually work out why it's being advertised, because that will provide the meaning behind why they want, or why they are looking for certain skills and certain experience. What's the politics? Now, they're not going to put that in their role description. However, if you read between the lines and you do your research, you might be able to guess what kind of environment you might be walking into. Is this part of a change management process? Is it part of a brand new overhaul? Because these things usually will help you work out what spin or what angle to put on your experience. And finally, what characteristics will management be looking for? If you imagine the person that's put this role description together, sometimes obviously they will get a recruitment service to do this, but ultimately when you get to interview, it's probably going to be your potential manager or the head of department or the head of the company that is going to be looking at your skills. So having a bit of an understanding of what you guess the management will be looking for, again, is going to put you in a position of strategic power, because you'll be able to engineer your experience, your skills, your achievements, your attributes around providing the evidence of why you are the best fit for this position. Right, so let's put it all together to create the core offer that's going to make you the strongest, most memorable and impressive choice amongst the competition. So examples, really strong examples, plus expert status, plus personal brand, and also thinking like an employer, equals your core offer. Meet Agatha. I want to show you this example of her LinkedIn profile once we were working together, because if you would have saw it before, it didn't look like this. But I feel it's a really great example of how having a really strong personal brand is going to set you apart. Now, initial thoughts when looking at this to me is that there's a vibe, there's an aura that comes from this profile. If anybody's been on LinkedIn, it can look a bit bland and very overly professional. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be fun, and it doesn't mean that you can't have a personality. Now, the strapline that Agatha chose, marketing is both a science and an art, that has some real strategic and in-depth meaning. And if you're from a marketing background, just being able to explain that is a talking point in itself, and it links to Agatha's values and her brand. Also, you know, in her opening, it says that she's a senior B2B marketing professional looking to join a company with purpose. So it's saying what she does. She's made sure that she has emphasized that she's working at a senior level, but also it has that life that is needed to stand out amongst the competition. So that brings us to step 4 of the Claim the Dream Job That You Deserve 5-step system. And it's all about your dream interview performance. Firstly, I really want to stress that interviews are a skill. They require a careful balance of strategy, technique, knowledge, and confidence. They are the final hurdle to jump over to land the dream job you deserve. Get this balance wrong and you'll fall at the last hurdle. But get this right and you will make it a no-brainer for the interviewer to see, feel, and know that you're the best person for the job. If you've got to the interview stage, there is only this one performance standing between you and the dream job that you deserve, so preparation is key. When I say preparation though, I don't mean overly rehearsing for every question and researching every single fact and figure of the company. I actually mean preparing for all the many formats and structures of interviews that you might be faced with. So here's some key formats to be aware of. So in terms of interview formats, there's the face-to-face kind of classic interview. But increasingly there's phone interviews, video interviews, and dare I say it, group interviews. On top of this, you could be asked to deliver presentations. They may include some form of testing, or they may assign you tasks to complete that are used to kind of test your competency. In terms of the actual types of interview questions, you can get the open questions that, you know, are more about providing a longer answer. They're not a simple test question. They're meant to generate that level of discussion so that they can glean what kind of a person you are. There's competency-based questioning, which is all, they're the ones where there's about 3 questions in one, or maybe 4 questions in one, and all they're trying to do is pack all of their competencies into the interview. There's hypothetical questioning, so when they're posing questions in the eventuality of it, you know, not really happening, but it's really a testing tool to see how you think, what your thought processes are, what your ideas are. I'm sorry to say, but there is trick questioning. I said that I was going to deliver this masterclass as honestly and real as I can, and I really dislike this at interview, but I understand why they pose these kind of tricky questions. They're just trying to put you on the spot, unsettle you a bit, but it's so that they can truly understand what you're like under pressure, or to knock you off your game so that they They're not getting the overly rehearsed answer, but they're getting the truth, the person behind, the glossy CV. And then they can outright test you. They can ask you a question that's blatantly testing your knowledge. Finally, there's the styles of interview. So it could be a quick and factual kind of, okay, do you have this experience? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Did you work here? What did you do? And that's just, as simple as it is. Then there's kind of that conversational interview style where you can be forgiven for thinking that it was just a chat, but really it was an interview. And then there's those formal kind of panel interviews. So as you can see, there are all different types of moving parts to interviews to be aware of. And if I can help you do anything to deliver a dream job performance, it would be to prepare to be able to really sell yourself, to shine, to be authentic, and to be confident in any combination of these scenarios. Interviews really demand a careful balance of so many elements. There's some things that can instantly sabotage an interview performance, no matter how well prepared you are. So I want you to think really carefully whether you make any of these common interview mistakes. Firstly, nerves. Do you have the type of nerves that have physical symptoms at interview, such as stuttering, stumbling over words, fiddling, forgetting, blushing, seeming timid or shy? Nerves are normal and healthy. However, if they present in these kinds of forms, they can not only make you massively uncomfortable, but the interviewers too. Lacking in confidence, so common unfortunately these days, especially if you're applying for your next level position and you're second guessing yourself or experiencing imposter syndrome, or you're just not feeling on your A game. But if you don't look confident, it's likely to make the interviewer question whether you have the confidence to deliver. Underplaying your skills and experience. So back to step one. If the pitch is all off, then it's going to sabotage, because if you're not showcasing your expert status and doing enough to convince the interviewers that you're the best person for the job, then it's just going to seem as though you haven't got all the skills and experience to do the job, when actually you do. Failing to leave a lasting positive impression. This is where interviewers actually forget who you are when discussing, the candidates on the day. It kind of falls into the category of, who was that person again? And it's just overshadowed by the person or people that particularly stood out. Over-reliance on the STAR method. So the STAR interview method is when you describe a situation, a task, an action, and result. This is the technique that seems to be the most popular and always has been, actually. When I was an employment advisor, quite a few years ago, we were taught to use this technique. It's still used today. However, in my experience, when someone overly prepares their responses using this format, they can run the risk of sounding staged and robotic. And this technique will not work on at least about 60% of those interview scenarios that I've just described, because interviews are not linear. They're going to have a mixture of types of questions. Describing a situation, task, action, and a result in an open question, or a trick question, or a question that's really conversational is not going to work. It's just not going to fit. And finally, when the employer was left none the wiser of your core offer. So remember how much stuff goes in a core offer. You know, your vibe, your energy, your personality, your values, your passion for the role, the things that set you apart, your expert status, your strong examples. If there's no sense of what you're about, what you stand for, what you're going to bring, then it's going to make it much more difficult for the employer to choose you over somebody who does have a really strong core offer to offer them. So my question to you is, how strong is your interview technique? What's your success rate? How well do you feel you share your unique selling points? How impressive is your presentation style? Do you feel you're able to answer any question? Have you got enough strong examples to play around with? And do you feel that you are memorable? I don't call myself the queen of interviews for nothing. I have a technique that my clients use that is an absolute game changer at interview, and it's called the interview story impression technique. This technique allows you to read between the lines of the question, to structure your thoughts and approach the question, to bring to life your best examples, to inject your personality and passion into an answer, and to impress and leave a lasting impression. So here it is, the interview story impression technique. There's 2 steps to it. What you do before answering and actually how to answer. So here's the bit that you do in your mind before you answer the question. You understand the why. Why are they asking the question? This is literally like what I was saying about reading between the lines. There is a reason why this job is being advertised. There is a reason why they're asking this particular question. If you understand why, that is your strategy. That's going to help you understand what pitch and what slant to put on your answer. When you know this, you can then choose the best example. Remember what I was saying about what constitutes a really strong example. Your best example is going to be the example that gives not only the interviewer the information, the proof and the evidence that they need that you can do this job exceptionally well, but it's the type of example that not only shows you at your best, but is impressive. You know, it has tangible, impressive results. And finally, before you actually answer the question, before you actually open your mouth, visualize the example. Every experience that you have will have an emotion. It will have a picture that you'll go to in your mind that takes you back to that particular situation, example, scenario. By immersing yourself in that vision, it's going to connect you more. It's going to help you remember it more, and it's going to help you bring it to life because you'll be memorizing those vivid details. Now that you've prepared your thoughts, you will be now ready to answer the question. So, to start, acknowledge the question with a statement. This is a particularly powerful step for anybody who's not great at selling themselves or injecting a bit of personality and life to their interview performance, because it's, by its very nature, it's showing confidence, because you're saying straight away that you can do what they have asked, but then you are adding a statement that is going to sell you. So it could be something like, I'm really passionate about this. I've consistently delivered on this. The reason why I work in this sector is because of this. So it's about acknowledging what they're asking of you with a bold statement about how you can do it. Then, contrary to the STAR technique, start with the result, because the result is going to be fresh in your mind, because the whole reason why you chose this example is because of the result and because of the impressiveness and the relevance to the question. By starting with the result, it's fresh in your mind, you're getting it out there very early that you can do this. But more importantly, it's building that impression. You know how I was saying that interviews can actually be quite boring for an interviewer if they've got loads of them. If you start with a result, they're already engaged. They're not waiting for you to waffle through your answer for the good stuff, which comes at the end. You started with it. So they're leaning forward and they actually are engaged to know how you did it. So then it's about setting the scene. I truly feel that you are like a puppet master in an interview. You do actually have the power. You can control what an interviewer sees, feels, and hears. So by setting the scene, it's almost like you're bringing the interviewer to the point in which you need them to be to understand how you can do this role. And this is particularly good if you're applying for a senior level position, because they may have glanced at your CV or application before you went in, but this is your opportunity to really emphasize the level of responsibility, the gravity of your position. So you could be saying, in this position, I was responsible for leading teams, managing projects. You could be pointing out that had you not have got this right, this would have been the consequence for the organization, for the employer. It could be that you're providing the context so that they can imagine you in this role doing what you're describing. And then that makes it easier for them to think, oh, well, this is what we need in our team. Our environment is very similar to this. It has the same level of demands. This person really can do what we're asking. So setting the scene is a really important step to bring them on this journey with you. And then it's just about choosing the key steps that led to the result. They want to know how you achieved it. It could be that it was just one key thing that you did that made all the difference. It could be 2 or 3. But I want you to imagine this almost like a presentation. When you deliver a presentation, you talk around your slides. You talk around your bullet points. Your steps to achieving this result is almost like these bullet points, but you're bringing them to life. So to make it easy, just choosing 1, 2, or 3 short actions or key moments that led to this result is going to help the interviewer understand why you are so fitting for this role and why this example is showing you at your best. Then finally, it's just about summarizing the positive impact you made. This could be another result. This could be another outcome of what you've discussed. It's just allowing you to leave that final lasting impression on a high. All the steps to claiming the dream job that you deserve interlink. Let me bring it all together for you to show you how it will help you deliver your dream job interview performance. So first you need pitch clarity. So you need to ensure that you're pitching at the right level. Then you need a core offer. That's the thing that only you provide and the thing that the employer gains by choosing you as opposed to somebody else. You want a personal brand that strengthens and complements this core offer you have. It's basically the unique brand of you. But within this personal brand, it includes your particular brand of leadership. If you're in education, your brand of teaching. If you're in marketing, what's your personal brand of marketing? There's a certain stamp, a unique stamp that you put on what you do, and tapping into your particular brand is going to set you apart from your competition who would not have thought about this. They're going to fall into the trap of being in the generic group. But if you've got a strong core offer, if you're pitching at the right level, if you've got a really strong personal brand that you're proud of, you will stand out from the crowd. And finally, you need a technique that's going to help you sell yourself and bring all of this together and actually incorporate those hidden expectations of the interviewers. Now, the interview story impression technique is a great technique to use, but obviously you might have your own technique. But the purpose of having a technique is that it should allow you to really, really sell yourself and to remain impressive. Let me introduce you to Lynette. Now, she felt ready to claim her dream job. She'd reached a stage where her ambitions had surpassed the role she was in. She knew she was ready to be assistant principal and wanted to represent the change she wanted to see in education. What she needed was to prove that she was the most capable with the experience that she had. She needed the competitive edge and a strategy that would land her the dream job at interview. Leading up to the dream interview performance, Lynette actually was in a dream job frame of mind. She knew her personal brand. She had a compelling core offer. She knew how to read between the lines, and we tailored the interview story impression technique to her unique way of talking and to her brands of leadership, her teaching style, and just her overall personality. So it was tailored to her. As a result, Lynette claimed her job. She was offered it. And, she actually works as a consultant. She has the freedom to implement her unique approach to leadership. She is happy and fulfilled knowing her ambitions are being fulfilled and fueled. She's able to be her true, authentic self at the top of her potential every day. And recently, she joined one of the national education boards as a trustee. If Lynette can do this with the Claim the Dream Job You Deserve 5-point system, honestly, so can you. Now, why have you showed up today? Could it be that you're not getting shortlisted for the jobs that you're applying for, which means that you're not being considered yet for the roles that you deserve? Could it be that you're not getting past the final interview stages, which means that you're close but still so far from the job that you deserve? Or could it be that you don't want to have to feel rejection at application or interview for one moment longer or not at all? Which means that you're not messing around. You want to know the tools and techniques that will fast track you to the job you deserve. So up till now, you know how to pitch at the right level and have that clarity that's needed. You know what makes a dream job strategy. You know what dream job tools you need in your toolbox. And you know how to deliver a dream interview performance. So now you're left with a decision. Opt for trial and error or a proven system. So here's step 5 of the Claim the Dream Job that you deserve 5-point system. Number 5, your dream team. Being unashamedly ambitious, remaining determined, confident and resilient is a lonely path. Claiming your dream job, as you can see, requires a serious blend of strategy, the strongest application tools and techniques. And given the lack of honest feedback from recruiters and employers, you can run the risk of not knowing what you can do to achieve the job offer you deserve. In an ideal world, thinking about all the support you could possibly need to claim the dream job that you deserve right now in this competitive climate, with the level of competition there is, wouldn't it be great if you had these things in proven success? A confidence and empowerment coach, your own personal employment specialist, your own personal career and development strategist, your personal interview coach, having a branding specialist in your pocket by your side, an advocate, somebody who can sell you on your behalf. On top of that, an expert who can put together the most compelling CV, cover letter, supporting statement and applications. Somebody who can help you present to the top of your potential or deliver public speaking. Having a LinkedIn expert. As you can see, the power of LinkedIn can be so strong if you know how to use it. Having a mentor and somebody who's like your biggest cheerleader, somebody who's got your back and is by your side, and all of this in combination with proven success. Wouldn't that be great? Well, it is. It is all possible in the Claim the Dream Job You Deserve bootcamp. This bootcamp is called a bootcamp for a reason. It's not for everyone. This program is designed to help you go from not getting shortlisted or through the interview stages to having all the tools, techniques, confidence and resilience you need to claim the job that you deserve. In this bootcamp, you can expect to transform into the person that you need to be to get shortlisted and to stand out at interview. You can expect to attract the job roles that match your true career potential. And you can expect to feel proud and excited that you know exactly how to get it. If you're wondering what's included, the answer would be everything. Uncover your personal brand, expert status and core offer. You'll get standout application documents and LinkedIn profiles expertly designed and written. You'll be coached through the exact strategy for your particular sector and ideal job. You will have the interview story impression technique personally tailored to you. You'll be able to practice and prepare for any interview scenario. And you'll be able to have somebody building, well, me, keeping you motivated, resilient and confident. And this is all delivered by one person, i.e. me. I wear so many hats, but that is part of the gifts that I was blessed with. I have a knack for personal branding, for teasing the best out of people, for building confidence, for seeing the things that people can't always see in themselves, being able to package and present at the right levels, being able to empathetically and honestly point out the things that need to be strengthened, need to be changed, but doing so in a way that you appreciate. Ensuring that you do not underplay yourself or sell yourself short. Aligning you to your true potential, your true goals, your path, the path that's going to lead to the most freedom and that happiness that you deserve. So if this is something that you think you would benefit from right now in this climate when applying for jobs, then apply to work with me. Basically, we will jump on a call and we will talk about where you are now, where you want to be, and exactly what you need to do to get there. If it seems that we're a good fit, then I will work personally with you to help you land the dream job that you deserve. And if you want to find out more information about everything that what I've gone through, if you want to find out more information about the clients that I've worked with, then email, and it's going to have all the links and all the information to find out more. But if you're thinking, look, now is the time, 2021 is the year that I'm going to land the job that I deserve. I'm not thinking about, the situation that we're in at the moment. I'm just keeping my dream goal in my heart and in my mind, but you just know that you need that boost, you need that competitive edge, and you want somebody by your side to do it. Then, as I say, apply to work with me and we can jump on a call and just get real, just get honest about how this is going to happen in the here and now. I'm so passionate about turning dreams into reality. There's been so many successes from my clients, and everybody who's featured in this masterclass has been willing to do a face-to-face interview. You'll find in the links the full kind of versions to their testimonials. And then with everybody that I work with, I get them to do a detailed feedback. So on my website, there's lots of testimonials that you can look at, so you can see actually what impact this program has had, this boot camp. As I say, it's not for the faint-hearted, but I really, really, really hope that you've enjoyed this. Even if you don't work with me, I'd like to think that you've got a lot out of it. Come and join my Facebook group. I'm here to keep you motivated, keep you resilient. I'm giving loads of helpful content, so come and join us. We're a positive bunch. And join me on LinkedIn. Send me a message, connect, say hi. Give me some feedback on how you found the masterclass. I'm here to help, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching the 5 steps to claiming your dream job with me, Judy Bullymore. Thanks again.